will the Committee on International and Legal Affairs come to order? Please note the attendance of Councilman Toba, Okimoto Cordero, Tupola, and Kiaina. All right, members, pursuant to Section 92-3.7 HRS, this meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting by interactive conference technology with the following procedures in effect for the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda in person, in the council chamber, and remotely when each agenda item is taken up. As both English and Hawaiian are official languages of the state of Hawaii pursuant to Article 15, Section 4 of the Hawaii State Constitution and Section 1-13 of the HRS, members of the public may testify in either language. For oral testimonies offered in Olelo, Hawaii, additional time as may be necessary will be allowed for the testifier to provide an English translation of their testimony. Before testifying, each person shall state their name. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to 1-minute presentation on each item. Once in-person testimony has concluded, I will proceed to those who have registered to testify remotely by video conference. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. I will then give persons who have not registered an opportunity to offer testimony. Please utilize the raise hand feature in Zoom to be called on. For those joining us by telephone only, please press star 9 to indicate your desire to speak. I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, please press star 6 to unmute yourself when prompted. Some friendly reminders and tips: video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you are also watching the proceedings on Olelo, please mute your telephone at the time you're called to testify. When the timer on your screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks promptly. Okay, HRS Section 92-3.7 requires all votes at remote meetings to be conducted by a roll call unless unanimous. Therefore, I will first call for objections, and if there are any, I will call for a roll call vote. For those council members, do we have any remote council members? Okay, we have no remote council members. For written testimonies, including the testifiers' address, email address, and phone number will be available to the public as described in the posted agenda. For cell phones, as a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones. Okay, for agenda item number 1, resolution 26-7. Members, we have a proposed posted CD1 submitted by Councilmember Tupola. For your information, the amendments are listed on the agenda. Moving to in-person testimony, Director Babcock.
Good afternoon, Chair Nishimoto, committee members. Roger Babcock, Director of the Department of Environmental Services. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but we would support this the resolution to establish this group, and we will participate. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, is there anyone else in person that wishes to testify? Please come up now. Okay, see none. Moving to remote testimony. Are there any remote testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have Anthony Makana Paris standing by.
Okay, Mr. Paris, please proceed.
Aloha, Chair Nishimoto, Vice Chair Tupola, and members of the committee. My name is Anthony Makana Paris, and I speak on behalf of the Makakilo Kapolei Honokai Hale Neighborhood Board in strong support of Resolution 2607. I grew up beneath Pu'eheleakala, now overshadowed by Mauna Opala, a once storied area of our ancestor Maui who lassoed the sun to dry his mama's kapa during the summer months. Now we continually see dust, ash, and foul smells coming down into our neighborhoods. I've lived with respiratory and other chronic illness since childhood, and too many neighbors have died linked from illnesses linked to nearby landfills. Landfills emit pollutants tied to hospitalization, cancers, lost work and school days, and economic harm. The burden falls hardest on the working class and Native Hawaiian communities in West Oahu, and our board has long called for host compensation, stronger diversion, and local green jobs. This resolution moves beyond symbolism, quantify harm, and center community testimony, and plans a just transition with health mitigation and diversions. So to end, I ask this question: what happens when a keiki says, why do we have to live next to a landfill? I want us all to be able to look them in the eye and say, we saw the harm, we fought for you, and we did everything in our power so the next generation won't have to endure it. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify. Let's be a leading example of circular economies and zero waste in Honolulu. Aloha.
Okay, thank you. Any other testifiers remotely?
Chair, we have 3 other registered testifiers that are not logged on.
Okay, they're not on. Okay, all right, moving on. Members, any questions? Okay, see none. Recommendation for resolution 26.
Oh, she has a recommendation.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't know who the question was on. Chair, I fully support this, and I'm personally interested in this resolution and its intent. I would like to recommend that instead of one designee for the city council, that it be rephrased to say up to 2 members. So, because right now it says the council chair or the chair's designee who shall serve as the chair of the task force unless otherwise designated by the council. I'd like to be able to have at least 2 members. I mean, I know we can't have 3 because of potential sunshine, but so rather than just have 1.
okay.
Because if we pass the language as is, then we would be limited to 1 council member.
Okay.
If the author of the resolution is open to that as well.
Okay, thank you for the suggestion.
Chair Nishimoto, I support that. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Would you like to make a statement?
Yeah, sure. I think that's fine. I did submit this CD not only for us to consider removing some of the portions that were suggested by the state side. So Senator Gabbard introduced a bill, it didn't pass, so we removed those portions, but there are state representatives included in this so that we don't find ourselves stuck with DOH solid waste not agreeing with us. This is for us to all get to the table together. So if you feel like it's advantageous to have at least 2 city council members, despite the fact that we are not over state law, we actually have a lot to say about H-Power and the siting. So it's up to you, Chair, what you think, but I do support the recommendation.
Okay. Members, any other questions? And please note the attendance of Chair Waters. Any other questions, members, or discussion? Okay. Let's take a quick recess. Okay, thank you, members. Appreciate your indulgence. All right, so the chair's recommendation on resolution 26-7 to be amended to the posted CD1 and further amended to incorporate some language that says that there will be up to 2 council members, with the possibility of up to 2 council members appointed. Any questions? Okay. Any objections or reservations? Okay, see none. All right, now, Chair then recommends that Resolution 26-7, CD1, be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Okay, see none. Thank you, members. Moving on to agenda item number 2, Resolution 26-58. Director Hashiro?
Hi, good afternoon, Chair Nishimoto, members. Kim Hashiro, Director for the Department of Customer Services. So we are able and willing to cooperate in this process and provide as much information as necessary.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify, please come forward now.
Good afternoon, Chair Nishimoto and committee members. Troy Shimasaki, Office of the City Auditor. Our office does not take a position on the merits of this resolution. However, I note that should the council adopt the resolution, we'll be able to perform the audit as currently written. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify, please come forward. See none. Moving to remote testimony. Anyone registered to testify?
Chair, we have none.
Okay, thank you. Members, any questions? Chair Waters.
Quick question for HPD. I mean, it's somewhat related, but is it true that when someone calls the tow car, HPD has to stay there and wait until the tow truck company shows up?
Aloha, Chair, members of the committee. I'm Braden Ogata from the Honolulu Police Department's Communications Division, just recently assigned over there. So to answer your question, yes, so if the police request a vehicle, we are going to wait. The only time that we will not wait is what we call, we phrase it as a tag and bag tow, which is in the morning, AM tow zones, afternoon tow zones, where we have to go through a whole bunch of vehicles in order to cite and request a tow. In those cases, we would not wait. We can cite the vehicle, notify dispatch, who then notifies the tow company, and we move on. Otherwise, we do wait for the tow truck.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's all I have, but maybe the point is to the auditor that perhaps they can look at alternatives to actually having the police officers wait. And sometimes it's like over 2 hours, which isn't really a good use of HPD's time. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, members, any other questions? Councilmember Kiaina.
I have
and
a
then
follow-up
Tupola.
question to that. And that is, in certain areas that are clearly designated tow-away zones, why can't we have the capacity to contract out and so that the contractor would have that, you don't have to wait around. It's in the tow-away zone, so it would be something contracted by the Department of Customer Services or HPD, whoever the appropriate entity is, so we don't have that. I'm just wondering, can we do that in an area where it specifically says tow-away zone? I can understand others, yeah, because they're going to get complicated, something that shouldn't be parked somewhere, like, you know, where, like in Kailua, in the Cinnamon's parking lot, where there's red, people just park wherever they want. And I know that HPD has to wait for people to come, but in a tow-away zone with tow-away signs, why would we not be able to contract so that we could have the tow company automatically go and tow them?
So the procedures that we have in place for towing are kind of developed. They're very long-standing, probably beyond what I saw and seen in my career. Some of them came into play probably because of liability issues, making sure that we know that that vehicle was actually towed away, making sure that we know the condition of the vehicle as it was towed so that we can document how any conditions of the vehicle as it was taken away. The AM and PM tow zones are the one area that we do allow just out of functionality. We simply have to move faster than the process of waiting for one by one. So could it be revisited? You know, definitely we could always revisit it. However, there are reasons why we do wait. Yes.
Got it. And then I don't need a answer from you, but you know, we've previously discussed transferring the authority for parking violations to the Department of Transportation Services so that we can alleviate HPD officers from doing other important duties for your mission, yeah. So something we've talked about previously.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Tupola.
No question for HPD, thank you. Just for discussion, thank you, Chair, for listing this. I just wanted to make mention that I've been working with Customer Service Division as well as the Auditor's Office to get this audit language specific. So some of the issues that we've had have been dealt with in the background, but I wanted this to be on the record and as well in the city records on how we could improve this. We've had various tow contracts. We currently have tons of different pay schedules going out. A year or so ago, we were short, or we hadn't paid out $3 million to the current contractor. Director Hashiro had reconciled some of that. We have upwards of 500 cars in one lot that have been towed in our military, but they have not been moved because we need to get Corp Counsel involved because of liability reasons. So in general, I think that this will help as a house cleaning bill, but also moving forward, I'm hoping that we can improve all these different suggestions in the future tow contracts so we don't have to just keep repeating and repeating the same contract that we're bidding out that may need to be amended or changed so that it makes more sense, so that it's safer for people who get their cars towed and need to come pick it back up again. So I do think that this is going to help us all around so that all of us will know for accountability purposes how exactly the tow contract will be executed. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Rep. Okimoto.
Chair, I did have a question for HPD, just a quick follow-up. Thank you so much. Sorry for having you come up and down. But you mentioned that there are instances, reasons for why you have to wait. Could you explain them really quickly just so we can get them in the public? So I understand what would be the reasons for you having to stay there and wait for the tow truck to come?
So when a vehicle gets towed, first off, we want to make sure that the vehicle is actually removed and by which tow company. We want to log and notate the condition of the vehicle, whether the doors are locked, perhaps whether there's any damages to the vehicle before the tow occurs. And then from there too, on some there's various types of tows we may try to do. Sometimes it's a stolen vehicle that we're returning to an owner to, so we have to actually log all of the different conditions, even maybe within the vehicle of what the owner finds, or we may have to do various things to basically take a look and document what that vehicle was like at the time and to know for sure that that vehicle was in fact removed by a particular tow company. This does come into play on occasion when drivers come back to their car. They may find damage that they didn't see prior to the tow. So we have to be very cautious and make sure that that's all covered.
Thank you for the explanation. Thank you, Chair.
Chair Waters for all-important second turn.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, who knew that there were so many issues with towing? But hey, what do you do when there's like an abandoned boat? Or in some cases, I get calls where there's actually like mats in containers sitting on the road. Like, do we even have the ability to tow those? And I know it's outside of the scope, but that happens. I get calls from constituents say, hey, there's a mats in container parked outside my street. But my understanding is we don't have the capability to tow those types of things.
So, Chair, that's definitely a tough question. It is an issue. It's a little outside of the scope of the current, the tow contract that we're talking about now, but officers do get called to those types of situations. We have to become very creative and diligent with trying to work with the office staff to look at these situations and try to find solutions for them, whether it be DLNR, whether, depending on whatever location that you're talking about. But boats, mats and containers, these things are not the normal thing, but they do happen in the community. And it's definitely a problem for officers that require a lot of research and work.
But ultimately, they're not towed, right? I mean, they're still there.
Yeah, we have difficulty with those.
Yeah. Thank you.
Depending on the circumstances.
Thank you, and good to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Members, any final questions? Okay, seeing none, let's move to recommendation for Resolution 26-58. Chair recommends that the Resolution 26-58 be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, members. All right, members, we now move to executive session. The following items as posted on the agenda have been referred to executive session. I will read the items individually to allow for oral public testimony on each item. Testifiers will testify on all executive session items together. The time allotted for each testimony on each item is 1 minute as set forth in the agenda. Agenda item number 3, City and County of Honolulu, or to settle a claim against the City and County of Honolulu by Gerald Eubank. Agenda item number 4, to retain the legal services of Starn O'Toole. Agenda item number 5, Lefiti versus Seale. Agenda item number 6, Jamora versus the City and County of Honolulu. We'll now proceed to in-person testimony. Anyone wishing to testify, please come forward. Seeing none, moving to remote testimony.
Chair, there are none.
Okay, thank you. Seeing none. Members, are there any objections to resolving into executive session? Seeing none. With no objections, the committee resolves to executive session pursuant to HRS Section 92-4 and 92-5A4 to consult with its attorneys on questions and issues pertaining to the duties, the powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and/or liabilities of the city and the council on the items listed on agenda for executive session. The following persons will be participating in executive sessions: all council members present from the Department of Corporation Counsel, Deputy Corporation Counsel Pang, Cook, Kelly, Kim, Ogata, Ho, Manu, Vanui, and Uesugi. From the Office of Council Services, Director Park, Deputy Director Pitcher, Staff Attorney Masuda. Okay, recess. Okay, the Committee on International and Legal Affairs is reconvening pursuant to section 92-4 and 92-5A4 of the HRS. The committee has consulted in executive session with its attorneys on questions and issues pertaining to the power, duties, privileges, immunities, and/or liabilities of the city and the council on the items listed on the agenda for executive session. For item number 3, the chair recommends that the request for authorization to settle the claims against the City and County of Honolulu by Gerald Eubank, as discussed in executive session, be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Thank you, members. Item number 4, chair recommends that the resolution to retain the legal services of Starn O'Toole, as discussed in executive session, be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Thank you, members. For number 5, the chair recommends that the request for authorization to settle a case against the City and County of Honolulu entitled Lefiti versus Seale, as discussed in executive session, be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Seeing none, thank you, members. Finally, for number 6, chair recommends that the request for authorization to settle a case against the City and County of Honolulu entitled State Farm Mutual Automobile Insurance Company as subrogee for Jamora versus City and County of Honolulu, as discussed in executive session, be reported out for adoption. Any WRs or noes? Okay, thank you. We are adjourned.